to the one who knows how. Desire alone is not enough.
Freedom is the right of all sentient beings. Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost. Autobots, roll out! We cannot let the humans pay for our mistakes!
Autobots!
Reap the whirlwind! One shall stand, one shall fall.
Hey, and it is another Transformers Earth War stream. You can hear me, but can you hear the three people I'm joined with? Hello, team.
Hello everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, I think they can hear you. Cool.
Cool.
Amazing. I'm going to jump into some Twitch shout-outs. So I am going on Twitch. So we've got Rafcore6799. Hello to you. Who else have we got in here? I'm trying to see if we've got anybody new in here. X-War Magnus, I've seen you before. Lord Dragger, well, we always see you in here. Red Wild Rider. We've got Jetfire VF1S. We've got Cuddy Fox. Hello to you. And who wants to do YouTube? Everybody's saying hey when I've just stopped now. Who's got YouTube?
Today, joining us on YouTube, there's Penny Lancaster, Charlie Plays, Tukai Ado, Lord Avix, William Wilkinson, hello to Volcanicus, Agente Art, Stay Puffed, Nathan Webb, hello Nathan, thanks for the trivia. Grayson Mohair, Blade 19, Joel Solano, Chris Truden, Lefty Wiscofas, WD Rezu, certainly with X Miller, Nawel, Smoked Cheese, Novella, certainly, Ricky Lau, hello to all you guys.
Nice. I'm laughing because Vixen has put on YouTube. Hello, Hyro, love heart. Dale, boo. Fabian Yanis, stop nerfing my combiners. We've got touch combiners. I'm not sure what that one is about.
Lovely.
Cool.
Yeah, Facebook. Yeah, some friends from Facebook. Miss Emir Yargi, it's been there for 10 minutes waiting for us. So first, wow. Tony Jones, Jason Perry, Joshua Sims, Thomas McKnight, Neil Scott Looker, Michael Gallagher, Alfredo Amaya, I think Thomas H. again, and Eric, and many others that are joining today for the stream from Facebook.
Cool. So lots to get through today. We've got HQ18, we've got the event that we'll show in just a second, lots of Halloween stuff, but yeah, most importantly, lots of HQ18 stuff. So shall we show what's coming up this week in Earth Wars? What is the event, Hyro?
Yes, so this week we have Mortal Kombat. Yeah, it's not referring to anything special, so don't ask. But yeah, there is the story goes that combat bots are organizing and they want to get more importance into the game and into the lore, and you will see that over this saga. But this weekend we have 5-star combat chart event. It's 750,000 points, so it's a bit easier than usual, and that also adjusted some of the rewards, so you can get up to 500 5-star combat charts. You still can get 40 combat premium chips, that's a lot. 4-star shards, enough to do one exchange, so that's 2,500. 3-star shards, premium crystal shards, some G-metal and some gold power core chips. So actually, if you go up to the end of the event, you can get a high velocity shells core chip. That should be a good incentive to actually finish the event, and many other rewards like Spark and different resources. So yeah, it's not the typical million one, but still it's full of nice goodies there to fight for. Super XP as usual. It's an alliance one, so you can play with your friends. And yeah, that's the event for the weekend.
Cool. Looks good. So yeah, as usual, if you've got any questions, get them in on Twitch or YouTube. I think we'll go in and talk about who we met this week. Oh, well, last week, wasn't it? It's Hasbro. And I said this last year as well, that I can't believe how in tune, Yanis, you are and Hasbro are. It just seems to be
Well,
you just know what they want.
it's funny. Like usually, part of the meeting we have every year around October is trying to figure out what bots are going to be releasing or what kind of features or themes are going to be going for the next year. So we have a presentation where we just cover like some statistics of the game, but also like this is what we want to be doing next year. And then Hasbro presents what their product is doing, toys and themes or big things are going to be happening in the year. And they also say like, this is gonna be cool ideas. It would be nice if you guys can get them into the game. And so they try to cater the release they have from toys into what we can actually transfer and have in the game too. So usually I go first and they go later. But because the last 2 3 years I stole the thunder by just having pretty much like what they wanted for us to do. We already kind of wanted to do it, and I said it first. This time they made an excuse that Rich, I think, that works Hasbro, he's the kind of like the lore master. He was like, "Oh, I have to grant, so I'll do my presentation first, and then you guys go." And it's like, oh, "Okay, I see what you do, Rich." But
Yeah.
no, it was a really good chat. We always like to have them over. I think yeah, we hadn't had them over for like 2 years because of COVID and travel. So they came here in London and we had a good chat. And yeah, it's always like we are pretty good sync. There's still so much stuff for us to be working for the next year. So many ideas from their side and our side. That's gonna be a lot of interesting new content coming in next year for sure. And yeah, it's always like yeah, we have a really good partnership with Hasbro, and we appreciate like how relationship with them was so good. Like they trust us to make justice to the Transformers world, and I think we done do it pretty well. Like I think we respect the brand, and they respect us for doing that. So yeah, it was a really nice summit we had.
Yeah, I think from a player perspective as well, they see Hasbro as they don't really interact with the community, so they maybe see that they don't care, but the care they had when they saw obviously the community slides, they just wanted to keep diving in. And I don't want to say too much, but Hasbro are reading everything in our Discord server. It's just amazing, isn't it, that they care so much about the game and our player base, and they just want to know everything, what's going on, what the players are saying, what they're thinking. And they trust the
They
team.
know also like a big of our audience is like core Transformers fans like like I think a lot of them is like people that like us enjoy Transformers as a brand from really early on. Has been following it for so many years. So like we have like this close interaction with the community. It's a window for them to actually see how the community feels, not just for the game, but for like the brand in total. So with the new big Discord that we have, and like a lot of people joining there, and then a lot of subjects that not just about the game, but I think you've created things about art, discussion about toys and all that. I think that's really interesting for Hasbro to see too.
And let's see if we've got any questions. What have we got? Chris says, I want you guys to defend why you don't increase all 13 storage and give us more of it.
Defend?
Yeah.
Well, you might get an R13 when HQ18 comes. So, I mean, it will come when the time comes. I think at the moment, the idea of R13, as I always have said, is it needs to incentivize you to use more than one combiner. If you always feel like I only have my one best combiner and I always keep using it, it will be pricey. You can get more ore from the store, but it will be pricey. We don't want to ever allow like, oh, I have the 5-star Omega Supreme. That's the only combiner I'm going to use. Well, it's if you can use it, but you're just going to have to pay more ore. If you were to change combiners, then you're mostly fine, to be honest. But yeah, the ore probably will go up with HQ18 when the time comes. I don't know if it's going to be the first wave or of HQ. I don't think it might be the first wave, but
No,
eventually
it's not in the
it will
first
come.
wave, but it will come.
Yeah.
Cool. I guess we'll go on to, because you've mentioned Omega Supreme, is some players on Discord have seen that we are increasing combiner levels, and Magna Boss, who's got he's only got 3 bots part of him, and he's getting an extra 5 levels. Is he going to be better than Omega Supreme? I think players are more concerned, will Omega Supreme be now weaker than the combiners that are going to get those extra 5 levels? Like, what's the standpoint on that? Are they going to be better, or are they not?
I mean, I mean, Omega Supreme is not going to get weaker per se. We're not going to change him, so it's still going to be like very relevant and very strong. The other combiners are going to get stronger, that's for sure. I've just today or this week increased the levels. It's somewhere on a prototype branch. It's going to be run past the playtesters. We're going to have a look at them. We want to keep things balanced. As to is going to be weaker or stronger, I think they're going to get closer for sure. But they still have, Omega Supreme still have another ability, which is a massive advantage of him being a 5-star, and that will make him remain very relevant and very much stronger than the other one in that sense. But definitely the health and the DPS of the other combiners will come closer to him.
Cool.
There's a comment like Mega Supreme is the only combiner you can use 5-star. That's not the case, and you don't need a 5-star Volcanicus in order to beat. Like, I think that's not what we ever want to do, or that's what we want to do. Like, we want to keep 4-star combiners as relevant, because like 5-star should always be like a bit more powerful and a bit more interesting ability. But the idea is like all the combiners should be used. I mean, they already are. If you know how to use them, they're all like kind of pretty strong. Not
almost.
all of them. Yeah, almost. I mean, we are looking at buffing. Volcanicus is getting improved, I think. Like Optimus Maximus is getting improved. Trying to from the top of my head, like there are a couple like we are going to be reworking as part of this upgrade. But
Victorion and Menazor, we're gonna have a look at them as well.
Menazor. So yeah, there's some we're gonna be touching. Some of them I think are pretty strong, but we will be looking at all of them to see that they have like a usage with a new kind of meta. Because we already kind of like with HQ17, some of them are not as valuable. But yeah, our idea is that all the combiners, or even the 4-stars, are gonna be capable, and the 5-star is gonna be the cherry on the top. Like you have him, you are a bit easier, but it shouldn't be it shouldn't be, I guess, it's a big. I mean, with the new HQ18 Omega Supreme 5-star, it's gonna not be as shiny because more health on the buildings is gonna impact you. So hopefully, we're getting near that you have the 5-star combiner that won't guarantee you victory. It's just gonna give you a little bit more extra help.
Cool, and I guess all these combiner changes you're mentioning then are these all coming into with phase 1 of HQ18, or is it going to be after phase 1?
The balancing is going to come with the first phase. People are saying also 4-star combiners times really fast. Like we are going to be looking into damage the combiners take and receive and what balances you need to do. So that could be something universal, not just for the ones I just spoke. But no, those changes will come as HQ18 comes, the first wave thing.
Cool. Another question. So we're obviously working on skids and knockouts G1 core at the moment. I think some players have seen that knockouts core is not a G1, so they think it's going to drop from generic. Can we clarify that both of those cores will be coming from G1 cores?
Yeah, so the G1, consider it just the naming. It could be like the transmetal we have for the base wars or the golden disc. It's just the name we give to the core and the chip. So even if it's not specifically G1, it will have just another name, but it will work, and the sources will be the same as the G1 core, so duplicates and chips.
Cool. And then when that arrives, Hyro, I guess players can start saving G1 cores now. So when it does eventually release, can they obtain it?
Yeah, we will add it to the G1 list. If you have any generic G1 chip, it will be a possible reward from there. It will be added to the duplicates of these bots. We'll have a bundle where, like, the first sale and any duplicates you may get from these bots will have a chance to drop their new G1 core or bot-specific core, if you want to call it that.
Cool. And then Ability 11, I guess that is then coming with the Endurance event 4 weeks later. Is this only going to be just for those two bots, or are we going to be doing a batch of Ability 11?
It's going to be just for these two bots, I think. So George is working on that at the moment. I'm really focusing on HQ18. I just want that to be into playtest and get on with it. We'll look at ability level 11. I'll have a little review after that of like what bot have ability level 11, which 5-star have that, which 5-star have G1 cores and whatnot, and try to fill in the blanks before we start fresh with a new set of bots that have none of these things.
Cool. And do we have any ETA when we would see a new Ability 11 batch? Would it be this year, or do you think now we're moving on to next year with that? Same for the 5-star batch as well.
I believe both of them should come this year.
Yeah, it should be this year.
Yeah.
I think, like, I mean, we wanted to already start it. The problem is, like, we were pretty tight on the schedule on the previous saga. Now we need to catch up and go ahead, get the new bots and new combat bots finished early enough for the players to have a look. Get finished with the skills knockout ability 11, and then that means we're gonna have more time to actually, start working on ability level 11s or like 5-star batches. But also, like Fabian said, like we need to focus on HQ18, get it out. It's been trying for a while, and players are like really excited to see that. So I think, like, yeah, as long as that's like in your ability level 11 doesn't impact like us getting HQ18, it might come earlier. But yeah, definitely will come this year for sure.
Cool. I'm going to ask this question before we move on to the HQ18 things. What about the upgrade cost of the combiners? If the level cost stays at 600k, then it's 3 million in 5 weeks per combiner. That's 24 million spark for all the combiners.
What's the cost to upgrade what combiner level?
Yeah, so from 20 to 25 players have worked out that it's going to be 5 weeks per combiner, and that's going to take some time.
What, the upgrade times? Okay. No, upgrade times will be readjusting them anyway, so it won't take as long. For sure. As for the upgrade cost, again, we just need to review what the values is. But considering it already was happening for Omega Supreme, I think that's already there. But I mean, we're gonna have another look.
It's
maybe
600, yeah, for Omega Supreme. It doesn't. So it goes from 600 from 20 to 21, and then all the way up to 25 is 600 as well. Right now it's like that for the other combiners, but it's still up to discussion within the team. So
cool. No, that's fine. So Hyro, Halloween next week. Do you have anything planned? Are we going to see famous trick or treat bundles?
Spooky. Yeah. There will be an upgrade on these bundles, so you can expect something similar to last year, like super easy event. We know, guys, you want to be out, you want to be having some fun. So yeah, it will be an individual. It will be easy. It will be easy to finish. It will have some of these trick or treat chests, and then there will be some on sale. So there will be interesting stuff in the shop. That's for sure. But yeah, it will be. If you want to have an idea, think on last Halloween, and you will be something similar to that.
Cool. Good to hear. Yeah, them trick-or-treat chests was pretty funny last year, to be honest.
Everyone loves Kim6 so much. All players are asking me all the time, more Kim6, please. And that's your chance.
Oh god. HQ18, Fabian. So we've got a list of changes that you've posted in the newsletter. So let's talk about buildings to receive a new level. So let's talk about the HQ. So the HQ is getting a new level. I guess that's just getting standard HP increase and you've got
so I'm gonna just show the Decepticon first.
That's
for
fine,
once. Wait, I'm just trying to get the list of the building, because I think you can upgrade all the buildings on this test account, but here I've upgraded the HQ, which you can see here. It's already upgraded.
Yep.
You're probably gonna see some values on these screens. That's the value we decided we would go for, sort of, before we run it by the playtesters.
We have not played this, to be honest. The values might change on the health of the
Yeah,
buildings.
so it's kind of like, the first calculation that's potentially in the ballpark, but, it needs to be play tested. We're really getting to the point where we're going to give it to the play testers, so this value might change, but yeah. So I'm just going to show you at least some of the building that I have upgraded already. You can see the energy storage here.
One question. Does the switch work, Fabian?
Yeah.
Will we try that?
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Okay, it's fine. Just do it your way.
Yeah. So now what we wanted to say today, it's like we released this in the newsletter that the series of building will be upgraded by batches. That means that during the first release, not all the buildings will be available for you to upgrade. It will be the HQ, the basic resource building, so not the all 13. We'll also have the walls, which are here. We'll also have the walls, cannon, outpost, mortar, stasis mine, scanner, and missile launcher. So they're all here, like the missile launcher, we can show.
Will the battle timer for HU18 increase?
Battle timers?
No, the duration of the battle, you
duration
mean, right?
of the battle, yeah, that's correct, yeah.
No. I think already with the increase we did on HQ17, not a lot of battles timeout. I mean, you can always see like if adding a lot of health on wars gonna make that much difference. But the idea is, I think at the moment we don't need to worry about increasing the battle more.
Cool, and I guess you get no extra ability points with HQ18.
Like we need to still go through that.
That's fine.
We are not making a decision on that.
Cool, that's fine. So I'll ask you one question, Fabian, while you're upgrading all these buildings. The scanner, does that mean we're getting a new zone? What's that kind of mean for us?
Yeah. There will be a new zone because there will be new HQs. We need to go something, and that will be a chance for us to rebalance some of the zones as people are asking. So yeah, there will definitely be a new zone with the hardest challenge.
So you need to finish all your missions before you can upgrade your scanner, I think, right? So just going through that, but okay. Yeah, I can show you the switch. So a question that was asked there were questions around the research lab, for example, because I think we have shared some screenshots where they had different texture. They're not gonna, the research lab, for example, is not gonna get an extra level. The reason you saw different texture is because with HQ18, there's gonna be a new functionality where when you activate a different Titan, it's gonna swap the texture of the base to match basically the look of your Titan. So we're gonna show you that, and you see on the, if I decide to activate Triptychon, no.
So obviously when you change your Titan, it's changing my whole base.
It's going to change your whole base.
Yeah.
As long as you've upgraded to HQ18, it's going to upgrade all the building that you have upgraded as part of your HQ upgrade. That means that, like, if you've upgraded your alloy harvester, for example, and then you switch to Scorponok, it's going to change. So you can see there's going to be a swap in texture here. But some buildings will also swap because we want basically the base to be all consistent and look the same. Like the Combiner Lab, for example, is not going to get a new HQ level, but it's still going to look like Scorponok if you switch to Scorponok. And that would be the case also for the Research Lab here and the Power Core Lab, which are not getting an upgrade, but they're also going to get the texture swap.
But what does Scorponok do for my base then? Once I've done the switch, does he give me any base perks?
Yeah. I don't want to get too much into detail here because I don't have the visual. But there's gonna be some perk, and they're gonna be applying to the defense, to your base as a defense. So it's not gonna give you any like boost to your bots or anything. But when you get attacked, some of your buildings, some of your outpost bots will be boosted, and this will tap a little bit into the type of damage type the Titans are doing. You might have noticed that, for example, Fortress Maximus and Scorponok have more like electric type of damage, and this will play into the type of effect that's going to apply to your base. But there's going to be more into this. It's going to be in the stuff that's going to be play tested in next week or second week. So there's going to be information on that very, very soon. So it's not going to be. So it is visual. You'll see but I will also, as an attacker, that would give you information of like the type of effect the base is going to hold, because you'd see, it's Scorponok kind of like themed. That means that this type of effect is going to be there, and I might change your strategy a little bit.
Cool. So I guess Metroplex would give something different to Scorponok.
Yeah.
They're all gonna have... Cool.
Yeah.
Let's see if there's any...
Some people are asking like when is 4-star like Fortress Maximus and Scoper not gonna come, because a lot of people are not gonna be using it, of course, in defense until that happens. I think we're planning on doing it next saga, so it will be probably quite soon, probably around in line to when HQ18 hits, and then you can actually have a reason to change your Titan if you need to.
Cool. So somebody's asking, need a zone between 12 and 13. I guess we're not doing that. We're just adding an extra zone as the highest.
I mean, we'll have a look, see if it's something that needs to be balanced. There's actually some people are saying that Fortress Maximus Titan Assault is too hard for him to do, which is like, I think this is the reason when we first introduced the Titans, we kind of like you had to level them up. It was hard to beat the other Titan. Now that we fixed the issue with Titan perks not applying to your Titans is actually easier to defeat the Titan that Gate keeps you. So you now go in higher like nodes, which means at that point the difficulty of the basis is harder for the early level Titans, and this is what actually beats you. I think it's an interesting kind of tweak in a way. Before you just always lose against like a guarantee against the other Titan, but now you could actually you have to actually think and how you attack the spaces. So I'm actually pretty happy with what it is at the moment. Yes, it's gonna be hard. This Gate gives you, but you need to level up your Titan, because when your Titan like levels up, the spaces are gonna be easier. The same as like Metoplexes and Triptychons.
Cool. And I guess players are still comparing Fortress Maximus Titan Assault and Metroplex Titan Assault. Will they ever be the same?
The number of nodes, the battles to beat in its node, I think that's what you're asking.
Yes.
Yes, I think at some point they'll probably be the same. It's a change that requires a lot of tweaking, because we have to stop Titan Assault from starting when it starts, straight away. There's like a 20-minute gap or something like that the previous week ends and then the new starts and resets. We have to actually probably delay that by a day, because we need to actually go and push the content that actually changes the number of battles that it requires, because we can't have someone that's already in between of actually doing a Titan Assault and then we change that, and then that pretty much gonna break this player. So that's why
we did break it in playtest. So we need to be
very
careful.
Yeah, we kind of like, you need to lock it down for like a day or something, and then change it and push it, and then unlock it. So that's why. And of course we need to make the changes. So it's something we will probably do in the future, because I think the less battles are working a little bit better. I think the players prefer them.
Yeah, I agree with that. So HQ18, we've not confirmed on what level you need to be HQ18 yet, right?
No.
Is that still...
No.
Okay, and we're not extending the amount of levels needed for players.
No, I don't think we want to get. I don't think we really want to get it to a very high level. The player level.
The maximum level will increase. That will probably increase because you get more XP by leveling up your building. So definitely, it probably will go up.
Cool.
But the player level to get to HQ18 is not going to be the max, right?
I don't think it will be the max, but we need to figure that out. As you said, we have not figured it out, but I don't think it's going to be the max. But it's going to be easy also. We don't want everyone to rush, because a lot of the times, sometimes, you just get to HQ17 and straight away you can do HQ18, and then you just have imbalanced HQs, which is not the greatest.
Cool. So now you are on the new Titan.
Yeah, I'm showing you now the Autobots.
Cool. Sean's asking, when is the release date? Have we got something in mind when Phase 1 will come, or is it just going to be, well, we're going to get it into testing, then we'll decide when it will arrive?
We'll get it into testing probably next week. We'll have most of the stuff that's announced in the newsletter. We need to sit down with Yanis. There are some balance changes we want to do as well that are kind of like general balance changes to go along with it. This we haven't really got down to it. We need to start this. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of information coming out next week already, because hopefully it's going to be in playtest. And if it doesn't take that long, it could be 3 weeks. I don't want to promise.
No. Well, it'd probably be 4 weeks because we've got a stream or something. So let's hope testing goes well. So Fabian's now just upgrading all his buildings again. So we're not getting any extra mines or build bots, are we, Fabian, with HU18? Because they asked,
No.
players did mention they're quite small. Maybe we could have additional ones of them.
No, I don't think so. At the moment, we don't want to increase the number of existing buildings for HQ18.
I don't know. Like, I mean, we need to discuss this, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, maybe some new buildings might come in. Like, I don't think we have actually settled on that.
Yeah, I mean, no, what I meant is like we didn't want to increase the one we already have, the number of what we already have. Potentially in phase 3 or 4, maybe there's going to be new buildings, but yeah, it's not. This still needs to be discussed.
Yeah, I think players' perception at the minute is they expect in HU18 there's no new buildings coming. So if there's a possibility, I guess it.
There's no new buildings in the first wave of HU18. Usually we do it in the later waves. That's what we did on 17 and 16. But there's a lot of extra functionality that's gonna come, that's gonna change stuff. There's like the Titan effects that are gonna impact the base, the prime cores that we're gonna talk about. There's a lot of extra stuff that's gonna be actually, and there's new cores that are also gonna be just by themselves, just getting released. So there will be a lot of things changing. And I think for a new building, I think it's just better to do it a bit later when people start get used to the difficulty before we add in some extra functionality in the battle.
It's crazy how we're doing all this in phases, which players actually really prefer doing it bit by bit. But how long do you think this phasing will actually go on for? Is it like a 6-month thing where we'll just have phases maybe every 2 months, or will it all be before Christmas?
Oh no, that will go after Christmas for sure. I guess for now we have 3 phases really and the second and third are a bit smaller, so they should come relatively faster. But as Yanis mentioned, when we get into the phase where we could call almost 18.5, where we actually bring new stuff, that's still a long way off.
Cool. Right, so I guess you're going to show us the new headquarters core. So what does this do then, Fabian?
Yeah, so there's a series of cores that we want to bring.
What's wrong with your cores, Fabian? Why do you have like 150 of the same?
I think you need to submit a ticket, Fabian, and we'll get them changed for you.
So I don't want to get too much into the details of these cores, but we want to bring one new HQ core, which for the moment it's called EMP Defense Pulse. It's something that's going to be mid-range. It's not going to target the bots that are like fighting the HQ at close range, and none of them will be like at very far. It's a bit similar to the one next to it, which I forgot the name, the point defense beam, but it does stun for a very short amount of time. I'm just going to say that it's stuff that we're going to put in playtest. We see how it goes down. Just beware, not everything might be released at this point. If something we realize is something that players don't want, we might not do it. But yeah, let's see. So there was this one. We're thinking about also new
build bots. Yeah, so you've got 2 new cores for build bots, right?
Yeah, there's 2 new cores. We're looking at array blockers, something that could prevent healing in certain zone. So that means that that's quite powerful. And also we're looking at the fireproof dome, something where the fire damage could be prevented in a certain zone. So what we want to do with the build bots, and this is always something that we wanted to do, is bring more and more option on a limited amount of build bots. So that means that there's a lot of options, and when you get into attacking a base, potentially not everybody's defending the same way. So that would encourage people to just not use always the same ones, because every time we introduce a new one, it was just like some sort of a new favorite. Like the force field disruptor is very popular at the moment. We're hoping that by bringing new ones, it's just gonna increase the variety of defensive strategies.
Nice. I'm just seeing if there's any questions, and then we've got 5 new prime cores, which will be equipped. Are these going to be just equipped to any building?
So that will depend. I've configured them now. I think that in the first batch, we're looking at them being equipped by every defenses that can equip prime core at the moment. This will not be the case in the future. So for now, we've gone for some so you can see there's going to be. Unfortunately, we don't have the 3D renders on the right, but you can already have an idea of the frame and how they're going to work. They're going to be equivalent of the current prime core that we already have. So what we're going to try and do is just try to see okay, we got Alchemist Prime, does that make sense as a defensive building? Can we make it work? And the first 5, I think we can make it work. So what we're going to do is we're going to introduce these ones, and potentially we're going to use the same icon, and it's just going to look different with the frame, which is a new frame for the building prime core. So right now we're looking at introducing in the first batch, we're looking at Alchemist Prime, which I want to remind everybody, it's a lifesteal kind of core, like the damage done by the defense will heal the defense. We're looking at Megatronus, which is the one with the fire, right? Yeah, that's the one. Megatronus is the one that's just fire damage around. We have Micronus, that's just sort of a regen. So it's going to be a little bit of a regen core used on the Buildbot, but a bit different. I think the range is going to be a bit bigger. We're going to have Lich Maximo and Amalgamus Prime. I'm just going a bit quick because we just created the cores, get the description for the players to have, but not everything is final there. But that's what we're looking at the moment.
I just
what were the last 2?
They were really quick. That's what I was asking.
Lich Maximo, which is the hacking one.
Yes.
And Amalgamus Prime, which is Amalgamus Prime. At the moment, we're looking at increasing damage from the defense by quite a lot on airborne target and transform bots. Because Amalgamus Prime for bots is the one that increases your damage when you're in the out form. So we try to swap it around and see if that makes an interesting core for a building.
And these prime cores are separate to bots, aren't they? They can't be equipped to bots. It's just buildings only.
Yeah, the buildings only. For the first 5 ones, they should be equipable on every defenses that can equip a prime core, and also they will be unique. That means that if you have the bot core, that doesn't mean you have the prime core. And if you get the prime core, you can only get it once. So you can't have multiple Lich Maximo for a building. Same principle.
So you're just getting that hacking immunity just on one building of your choice.
On one building, yeah. They're gonna be they meant the prime cores for bots to be powerful cores, and it's not designed for you to have multiple of them. That could be game breaking.
But they can a lot of them are quite powerful. The Lich Maximo will be hacking once every bot that comes nearby. So you might have to think well, I have to take down this building. The other ones, can have a strong regen. So you can give the other strategy because you might be a laser turret that has it, which usually is not a building players worry about. But having one of these spots in one of these cores in one of these building is well, I have to take this out first because it's actually gonna make a breakout strategy. This is the idea behind them. You only have one, and you're probably gonna have to sacrifice some of your good either building cores, but it should make things interesting and kind of more spicy.
So cost, we already know the current existing prime core costs. Are these going to be the same, or are these going to be a little bit higher because they're obviously newer?
And what? Sorry, the cost to acquire the thing. I don't think we've ended on deciding what's gonna happen. We're leaning towards be the same cost, but I don't know. It might change. Because it's like the players are already kind of stuck in ahead, and then finish all the board or the build course and everything. They just can straight away jump it, but then it would be a bit unfortunate for all the other players, to catch up with these players. If they're gonna have to pay extra and then save extra. Like I think this is one of the reasons why we're releasing them in batches is like because not everyone is gonna straight away have all 12. Even if we can't gatekeep by cost, but just like it doesn't make sense to just double it because then some players that's gonna starting is gonna struggle a lot. I mean, they're already gonna kind of struggle to catch up, but we don't want to make it even worse, but just having a higher cost to put them in your base.
Cool. And I guess these cores are just not HQ18. They can be
No.
used by anybody, right? The
They
build
will
bot
trickle
cores.
down. They will trickle down to other HQs. So something that you're gonna have to worry about everything, not just HQ18.
Cool. And then obviously we've got bot levels. I think players did see that the research lab was getting an upgrade as well. Does that mean bots are going to have to go in a research lab to get to 67?
So the research lab is not upgrading. We went through that before, and they won't need the research because you only get research at the 11th level, 11th, 21st.
Yeah.
So from 65 to 67, 68, there's no research.
Cool. And when will that be coming then? I guess this is going to be coming with phase 1 as well. The
Yeah,
bot
yeah.
leveling. Cool. And I guess that is pretty much all the HU18 changes that we mentioned in the newsletter. Is there anything else that we can expect in phase 1 that we've not spoke about?
There are more stuff to come. We just started revealing things, but I think it's like the first wave. This is where it needs to be. We need to do balancing, as Fabian said, and then we gonna reveal other things that are gonna follow. I don't know. Fabian still has a list of things to go through, but yeah, this is not all the stuff gonna be for HQ18 for sure.
Cool. And when do you think we'll be making the change for Titans? Because we have mentioned before that lower HQ levels will be able to access Titans. Have we made? Would that be coming with phase 1?
Not really. That's kind of a separate thing. We could make it happen with phase 1, but it's I don't know. It's a bit of a separate thing.
I mean, probably, it was going to go down, but I don't think it's going to go down by that much, to be honest. But like, I mean, I think we need to figure out what's gatekeeping. I think it's when the campaign is available, so it's pretty easy to change. I mean, you just need to talk about it and do it and test it.
We've got a question here. Will level cap be removed from Shanix store with HU18, allowing any level to buy Z Energon?
Sorry?
Will the level cap be removed from the Shanix store with HU18 to allow any level to buy Z Energon? There's some packs in the Shanix store which are a lot behind levels, so...
So the Z Energon is hidden, like up to a certain HQ level, HQ 88 or something. But that's because elimination is also like hidden, like it's not available in the early levels, and you don't really need that energon until you are like HQ 6, 17 or something. So there's no reason to pull it back. Yes, you get the XP. Maybe you get some of that energon by some things, but we should, it's not targeted for the low level HQ players. So I don't think we have a plan to lift that lock.
Cool. We've got 2 questions on this. We've got one saying from Evil Angel saying, any discussion on leveling boys in general? You mentioned making it easier to get to 60, but then also Shani saying, will we have more XP from events because the XP is going to increase to get to 67?
Now the XP probably won't increase by that much. I mean, they will increase because you have new high-level buildings give more XP. But our idea of making it easier to level is not by increasing the XP that we give out. I think that's already pretty good. I think our idea to make it easier to level is to decrease the level of XP, the XP required to reach certain levels. The bigger difference is going to be to levels 1 to 60, probably 50 to 60, which is when it's actually starting to go from a small increase to a bigger increase. It's kind of you level up. And I think also 60 to 65 also is going to be impacted. So I don't think the new levels are going to be as scary as they are at the moment. No, like to get to 65 is pretty high. I don't think we're gonna go that high. So that's our way of making it easier to level. It's not by giving out more XP, it's by just decreasing the XP required.
Cool. And then Traplight's asking, considering fire dome cores shown earlier, will fire and acid damage types eventually be separated? No, the fire core that you've shown will obviously be acid for
Yeah,
Decepticons.
yeah. And
It's
I need to actually create the acid damage type, give it an icon now that we circulated more. But they always, I think, yeah, it's just like a legacy things where, you know, like the Decepticon had acid, the Autobot had fire, but at the end it needs to be the same amount, it's the same damage for parity. I will, yeah, it will be a fire and acid dome, and I need to update some description to make that sure. But we're not going to separate them.
There's a correction, I think, to the question you asked me about the Z Energon. People are saying that they want to be able to buy Z Energon in high HQ levels.
Well, I guess. Do you want to answer that?
No. Like we never want to be selling. I think I think the players that are high there, they have this energy they need, or they can get it easily. This is more for the people that are trying to catch up with the higher levels, that we want to allow them to buy the energy because they need to be able to catch up with everyone else. So no, we don't want to do it. That's for the higher levels.
Yeah.
Sorry.
This was implemented also as a catch-up mechanic, so allowing lower players to just advance quicker. If everyone can do the same, there will be never disadvance, and it wouldn't make any sense, right? So that's why it's
catching
limited.
up.
Yeah,
Like I don't think top players are starving for the energy. Like far from it. More the players that actually either go to HQ17 or like early levels, they are the ones that struggle and they need help. The top players, they can get as much as they want.
Cool. What else have we got on? Wolf Dragon Soul saying should remove the cost of removing cores.
I'm for it.
The thing is, we have a lot of top players who sometimes write in a ticket going, "Can you please remove the cost to remove cores?" But then we check their inventory and they've got 500 stacks of.
No, there's a reason why there's a cost. Like it's because otherwise you gotta just like, oh, I'll just do a battle and then I'll just move this core, my favorite core, to another like bot, or just reuse it or do that. And like we just don't want to get to that situation. That's why there's a cost to remove. And that's nothing in like I guess as you said with like people's inventories. There's kind of like there's a mentality of hoarding in this game where like a lot of people saying like, oh, I don't have War 13, but there's also like a quite easy way of going buying it, or resources that a lot of people have stuck like millions and billions, but they kind of like it might be you need them in a rainy day. So no, I don't think we're planning on doing any changes from that. Like if I was to make any changes, probably would be in the cost to upgrade. Like personally, if I had to make a feedback, like to the cost to upgrade power cores is more like kind of a problem than the cost to remove a power core when you need to remove it, because you shouldn't have to do that often.
Yeah. Wazzer is asking, can we remove the option to buy Energon and Alloy?
Okay.
I think it's because when you refill in the game, it is very, very pricey to some players.
Like I think I don't know if we need to readjust that pricing. Like I think that's kind of more high-risk question.
Yeah.
I think the cost to get some of this is kind of crazy, to be honest. It is crazy. It just doesn't really in line with the availability of this resource. I think the conversion might need to have a reworked, to be honest.
Yeah, totally agree. These values were set on the release on the game where Alloy and Energon was quite more expensive, so it makes sense to just adjust this.
Yeah, you're giving them out every week now, Hyro.
Well, yeah.
I mean, players need them, to be fair.
Yeah, it's a pity because for one hand, players need them, especially new joiners. On the other hand, many people are stocking them, so it's also depend. If you play more, you get more. That's it.
Cool. I think we've just got on to trivia now. I think we're at a good time. We've got 10 minutes to go. So if you want to get some more questions in, we'll go through while people are putting in trivia.
Sure.
By the way, people always think if you put it in first, you win. I always do a random winner. So
no, it's always been a point think
Yeah.
like random.
Yeah.
Which is a bit unfortunate because sometimes usually the first guy that actually gets it right is
And then
actually the
everybody
one that
copies.
knows it and everyone else copies it. But I mean, that's how we always gave it out, unfortunately.
Cool. Harry, do you want to do the first one and I'll do the
Yeah,
second
sure.
one?
As usual, thanks, Nathan. I actually brought him like 5 minutes before the stream, and he delivered. So, thank you very much for your questions, and they're actually quite each case. So, question number one: Stan Bush wrote and performed some epic tracks for Transformers the movie in 1986. But which Jean-Claude Van Damme movie did he write and perform Never Surrender for? So he wrote some songs for Transformers, but he also wrote a song named Never Surrender for a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. What's the name of that movie?
Cool. Get your
Is it the
name,
best Jean-Claude
HQ.
Van Damme movie? Maybe.
Get your name, HQ, and Alliance in the chat, and we will
Okay.
pick out a winner in a second. Are medals increasing with HQ18? Are we going to be doing anything with medals for that? I mean, Fabian's shaking his head. Yanis is thinking about it. Maybe something's
Like
coming.
it needs to increase, but I don't know. I think our medal system is broken, to be honest. I think our medals is kind of like, a lot of players, enjoy chasing them, but I don't think that this is a way to approach that. Like something that, takes so much of a grind. Like I will never go away because the people who have worked really hard to be where they are and deserve to be where they are. We might just increase them by a little bit, but I don't think, that should be what, like if I have a dream and we could actually do any features I want as soon as I could, there would have been something that's more seasonal
Yeah,
for the
like
players to kind of something that resets and something that kind of like is kind of more like gamey instead of just go whoever can do the most battles can actually get there higher. I think the medals probably will increase a little bit with the new zone because it just makes sense. But I wouldn't increase them by too much. But I also don't think that's kind of like how the system should be because I want to change it in the future. It's just not really after a point. It's just a lot of people just give up because it's so much of a grind, and it's just not how I think we should be doing that. To be honest.
yeah. Whereas, like you mentioned, if it was seasonal, players could just jump in the next season,
Yeah.
couldn't they? You've got the total
Yeah,
leaderboard,
but
but then
there should be some gatekeeping. There shouldn't be just like whoever can just spend for hours and hours and spend like a lot of money to do it to go ahead. Like there should be some limitations and there should be some other game mechanics in order to make it more interesting. It's the future. It's like let's hope in the future we might see something like that. Like it's like yeah, we have other things to work first, but yeah, like that would be my dream. I think.
cool. So we've got some winners. So Fabian, do you want to announce your winner? Who's your winner?
My winner is C.O.M.B.A.T from the Alliance Arc of War.
Cool. And Hyro's picked two
And
winners.
he won because the answer was Kickboxer. That's the movie. From Twitch, Evil Angel. Am I? I don't know if that's their name game or Ancient One, maybe. And from YouTube, Buff Dudley, who also said Kickboxer.
I think it's Ancient One in the game.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. We'll find you. Question 2 then. Hasbro Pulse currently has a Transformers 2-pack of Alpha Trion and Orion packs on pre-order, but name the plot device they come boxed with. Name Alliance and HQ in the chat. I guess a question for you, Fabian, is combat bots. What are you laughing at, Yanis?
I just some question.
Do you want to?
Never mind.
Well, it's a question. You might as well answer it since you.
Someone found out that after like 4 years that the missiles in the missile launcher don't come in from the proper holes, they just come something into the general area.
Nice. 4 years. That's a long time.
No, maybe probably 5 years or something since the missile launcher went down. So yeah, he got us. Sorry. It's too hard to make it go correctly.
Yeah. So back to where I was. Combat bots, Fabian. What can we say anything about the new combat bots? Because I don't know. We're kind of in testing at the moment, aren't we? And the ability is really cool.
Is it in testing? I'm not sure. George is taking care of it. We play tested together. We can. Is they're gonna be?
I've not had a look at them. Like it needs to
Yeah.
be.
So I mean,
They,
they are companions. We haven't done companions in a
Okay.
while, and we are aiming. They're quite straightforward, and we are aiming at them making quite a bit of damage. So they're gonna be damage-oriented companion.
yeah, lots of good feedback so far. But we've got a stream just before they get released anyway, so we'll be
Yeah.
able to go more deep into them eventually. Anyway, and Hyro's picked some winners for me. Oh, thank you, Hyro. So let me just take one. So the answer was Vector Sigma, so well done to everybody who got that right. And the winners are Prime Duncan. Hyro picked one from Twitch, so we're doing two from Twitch now.
No, I didn't
No,
say
no,
your
no, no,
answer,
no.
but well, you can do it.
That's the old one. Yeah.
Ah, that's the old one. Okay, so Prime Duncan, you have won. And also on Facebook we had Mega Cupcake, and we have on YouTube Penny Lancaster. So we'll get you your chest sent either tonight or tomorrow. We've got 5 minutes. Let me just see if there's any other questions. If you find
No, I
any
think they
questions
just
you want to
we
ask.
managed to distract them by them talking about Van Damme movies. So mission accomplished.
So I'm going to ask you this one because you have spoken about it on stream before, Yanis. Cyber Dan says, any news on the 5-star plus bots? I'm not sure what they think is coming.
No, yes.
Okay, no news. Evil Angel says, war rework. Is that still coming?
Yes, it's coming.
Cuddy Fox says, oh no, please give
We
us
have
the
little
option.
time, so just go through really quickly.
Yeah, please give us the option to use G1 and Transmetals cores just as skins. So if my bot is using a Prime core, they can still use the G1 or Transmetal as a skin.
Possibly. I mean,
But you want skin? No, I don't want to do it.
now you don't want to do it.
No, kind of like I like the fact that the G1 core, you see the G1 core,
Okay,
you have
cool.
the effects
That's a
attached to it.
design thing. I understand that like that because then you can tell like this board has this core because you can see the skin on it. So
Yeah, because you put the skin anyway. Yeah.
Cool. Quick one for the Cyber Pass then. Are we going to expect to see the Cyber Pass just juggling around rewards every season
yes,
now? Because I think
yes.
some players are like, I really want my research skip all the time, but it's going to be in and out, isn't it? All the rewards are going to be rotated
It's
in and
gonna
out.
be in and out. Like we think that the value that's there is like it goes above like certain rewards. Like we want to have. Always a plan was to have more than like a few rewards so we can like switch them around for different things that people might want. Like yeah, maybe you don't want them, but maybe other players, they care about the reward more than you do. So it's not about a certain value of a certain item. It's like the whole thing is like no matter like some tweaks it will always be like I think more than worth. Like, or if a person thinks that because this reward is not there, it's not worth enough, then you can probably wait for the next 4 weeks, and then you can get the one that you actually feel that is worth for your money. Like for ours, like we want to change rewards to have to add some new ones instead of giving the same thing, and we don't want to also keep adding more rewards into the same battle pass so you can have even more value because it's already kind of thing
Pretty
really good
broken.
value. It's
I
already
mean,
good value. So I think like we're going to keep specific stuff like like ability increase is for me like one of the people that want like 5-star stars and all that stuff. It's really good value. That if you think like how hard it is to get, like I don't want to get them out, like a building skip increase or a bot level like upgrades increase or a binary increase. Maybe for some players are not important. Maybe some players are important. It's not just the cost of cyber coins. Like you're not buying like 2,000 or 6,000 cyber coins with the $10. You're buying all the other stuff. So like maybe for you it's not that interesting to skip your squad, but for some free-to-play players that might need to rush through a war maybe, and they don't have any money to spend on the cooldown, even it's for 300 squad, if 300 coins, it might be important. It might be good to have on the background. So like yeah, I think it's yeah. People saying like it's not a value. I think like if you don't think that, then please don't buy the battle pass and then wait for the next season that's gonna have the reward. So we're planning to just switch them around. like by season. So there's some variety.
Yeah, and I mean it's $10, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's an
I mean, it's still
incredible
like for
price.
like $10 a month is it's a lot, I guess, for some players. But I
It
think
is,
we
yeah.
just like when you think that the value is there for you, just buy that then. But our plan is to we want to keep the good for what we consider the good rewards that you need to spend how many weeks and times to save. But some stuff like I don't think that's as important. Like we can just shoot them around, and they will be there in like the next 4 weeks. And there are gonna probably new rewards gonna come in the future too.
Like what?
Maybe some people don't care about the new rewards. I mean, there are ideas people are asking, like increase like all 13, like harvest time or stuff like that. Like
Could be.
some others I can't even speak. Like we could design something like that. It will have to swap something else out. Some people might be attached to that thing. We might swap out, and it might be annoying. But it's not all targeted for certain low high level players. A lot of the content is for getting their players or lower level players. And maybe it's not for you, but we think the value should be or the overall value is worth the money. If it's not, then don't do it.
Cool, and you've brought us right to 6 o'clock, so thank you for that.
Finishing the
Thanks.
run in time.
Thanks everybody for all your questions. We showed quite a bit of HQ18. It's only the first phase. There's still much more to come, and I'm sure in our next stream we'll be going over a little bit more, and we'll be showing the new combat bots. It'll be a week after Halloween, so make sure you all go trick and treating and keep off the game. Just stay safe, and I hope you get lucky in the bundles because Hyro will be doing some spooky bundles. So bye from us. Bye everybody.
See you in 2 weeks.
Bye. See you in
Bye.
2 weeks. Thanks for joining.
Bye.